So that's what I thought you were talking about. I was like, what? No. No, not at all. So let's move on to the last part of the offense, the position that I guessed right a year ago. Offensive line. We needed a mini because of the injuries we had. Will, you talked about it. Sheriff, this might be it. Unless we do something to get him to come back, pay him an exorbitant amount of money to get him to stay here. He's most likely out of here. Do we try to look and see if there's a free agent that comes about? Do we try to play with that? Is the draft something we need to look at? I saw a guy from Iowa that is kind of along the same lines as Sheriff, and we had good luck with that pick. Which direction are you leaning towards?
You want to bring in some more corn-fed white boys to play
guard? Let's go. Wisconsin, Iowa, bring them all. Big Ten, let's go.
Grown on the farm.
That's right.
Yeah, so, this is a big deal for us right now. Like, we got a big decision to make on Sheriff. Right now, our offensive line, you got Leno, who signed an extension, so he's set for a couple of years, so left tackle. Eric Flowers is actually in the last year of his deal. We now pay all $10 million of it. Yeah. Miami paid half of it last year. So that's increased like the cost of the offensive line. Chase Roulier will be back. He's on a $10 million contract. And then we've got Cosme, the rookie, who played well. So the offensive line's kind of solid. But we've got this hole now at right guard is what we're going to do. A lot of people say you can promote Wes Schweitzer to take over. We've got Sadiq Charles, who got some playing time. The team would know more than what we can see there. And then you've also got young guys like Keith Ishmael, who played center, guard, and, he seems to be a backup. So I'm going to say this, a couple things when it comes to Sheriff. And Abdul, if you're watching this live or if you're listening on the podcast, you need to turn it up.
Let's go.
Because I know this is your pet peeve. This guy is the guy who grinds your gears more than anybody else. It appears that Brandon Sheriff is not going to be a part of Washington in 2022. It appears that he might have priced his way out of the team. However, I'm interested to see what they do because in the 5 games that Brandon Sheriff missed, we didn't run for 100 yards but one time, and that was against the Giants.
Yeah.
So there's a production loss there. So for everyone that says, well, just put Wes Schweitzer in, he played well. Well, but did he? Was he okay?
Right.
And do we need better than that? So I think it's going to be kind of interesting as to what we do. I don't think we should pay Sheriff $16, $18 million to come back. You can't pay a guard that. And last year, I will admit, I said, pay him. He's worth it. He's going to make us better. This year, it's like, you can't do that. We got to figure something out. Now, I will also say this. I very, very overestimated the guard market last year.
Yeah.
Because in free agency and when you franchise tag players, the guard is the same as the tackle in how they do it. So a guard is going to get the same money as a franchise as what's his name, Trent Williams, which makes no sense for that. For a guard to get the same amount of money as a left tackle. So I saw what's been happening in the NFL is these guards are getting big contracts. You talk about Andrew Norwell left Carolina to go to Jacksonville. He got a big money deal. You saw Joe Thuney go from New England to Kansas City, get a big money deal. So at the time last year, I said, the trend is going up for guards. We got to pay Sheriff. This year, I'm like, we got to figure something else out. And I think the guard market's going to go down. There's a couple names I think we can look at. I think free agency is a way to look at. Andrew Norwell. Yeah. He's no longer with Jacksonville. Ron Rivera knows him. I'm not giving him $14 million, but I'm curious, what is his price tag? Yeah. I'll have that conversation. There's a dude out of San Francisco. I loved him coming out of the draft from Duke, Laken Tomlinson.
Okay.
I'm curious to see about him. It got put up that Dylan put up there. I was looking at Mark Glowinski. From the Colts, I've heard some good things on him. I'm going to put my South Carolina pride out here. A.J. Can. He's a guard on Jacksonville. He's a pretty good player. There's Connor Williams from Dallas.
Yeah.
And what
I'd be interested.
He's making less than $1 million right now. If you offer him $8 million a year, is that a big enough jump for him that he'll say, okay, there's one other guy, and if Nick and Delilah hear this at some point, maybe you can put a snippet. I'll take James Daniels off your team. Gladly. He's young. He would be worth the money to put towards a young guy to come in and start for us. So those are some of the free agents I've seen that I'm interested in. What about you?
Yeah, no, Norvell is somebody that I've been eyeing from Jacksonville. Another guy that has played all the way up through the Super Bowl. Quentin Spain, but at the same time, though, that interior got abused in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. So I've always liked him, but I did not like the fact that they were getting just destroyed by those three quality defensive lines, but still they were getting destroyed by that. But Connor Williams, I talked to, obviously, with all the Cowboys fans I've been talking about him. They've been telling me about him all year. He went toe-to-toe in training camp and mini camp against when they had like the joint practices. He went toe-to-toe with Aaron Donald and even had like a little fight with Aaron Donald and held his own. I love that toughness. That's definitely something I would love to bring in. And playing in Dallas, I think, it could work for us. He might have some good intel. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'm eager to see what we do, but I completely agree with you. You can't pay him. You can't pay Sheriff that type of money. You're not going to do that. You're setting the precedent of what to pay guards, and we need to potentially get somebody on the cheap. Nathan says, "What about Ryan Jensen
with the Bucks?" I think.
Yeah, Tampa Bay center.
About it, but yeah. What is your price tag on Sheriff? What is your I don't go above this?
What is he tagged at?
18.
He's tagged at 18. Dear God. Oh, man. I don't go anywhere near that. He wouldn't stay for me. I mean, 13, 14, maybe.
So you'd go as high as 14 a year for him?
Yeah.
It's so tough because
he produces.
He's going to miss 4 games a year, 4 or 5
Very
games
true.
a year.
Absolutely.
It's like, how could you spend $14 million? I'm with you. I'm like, would I give him 12 to 14 maybe? But it's like, is that still overpaying for someone who missed games?
Right. And the flip side to it is when he's on the field, we are considerably better. And that is a shored up position that we do not have to worry about. But it's absolutely right. We cannot avoid the fact that it's consistent. Every year, at certain points, he gets out. He gets injured. Something happens. So, I mean, unless you find a gem somewhere else, and that's where we're going to look into the draft. Is there anybody in the draft that you've been looking at? I know a lot of guys will probably go a little earlier that I've been really eyeing, like I think it's the guy Neil. But I'm very interested to see which direction you'd be looking at towards draft.
Yeah, no, I don't have specific names, but I would say, like, if you're going 2nd or 3rd round pick, or even 4th round pick, like to basically push whoever you sign, or if Schweitzer is the guy and you go 2nd or 3rd round to really push him like that, I'm all for that, to get someone young, cheap, who's going to kind of balance the offensive line, but get a chance to play. Because if you can have rookie at right guard and Sam Cosmi year 2 at right tackle, you're kind of having balance among where you're spending your money.
Yes, and I like that. Build that line up, grow some continuity, and you're saving money at the same time. And you could potentially get these guys for 2, 3, 4 years together, playing together, and barring injury, that would be a beautiful situation. It's something that we need. Seeing how this year we talked about how many centers did we play, how many guards did we play, how many guys played multiple positions on that line. So we need to have guys that are A, flexible, B, durable, but C, cheap, affordable,
Yeah. And I will say this, I mean, whether we have a stud at quarterback or a rookie, getting a good offensive line is only going to make them that much better.
Exactly.
And I would rather see Wes Schweitzer be that backup, our top backup, to come in on either side, because I think he can serve in very well. And I would rather have somebody that is a better player than Schweitzer to help out whoever we have under center.
Oh yeah. Hey, and look, and ladies and gentlemen, as you saw in the Super Bowl, you can make it through the playoffs. You scathe by and get by on last minute field goals, but in the end, you need to have that line. No matter how dominant your wide receiver and quarterback to wide receiver combination is, no matter how many yards they're throwing for, eventually you're going to deal with that big name defense that's going to be able to exploit that. And hey, that's what we saw in the Super Bowl. That's what Cincinnati needs to figure out. So let's start there before we can think about bringing in a rookie quarterback or somebody else, some other veteran. We need to shore up, make sure that line is secure. If Sheriff's not going to be here, all right, let's move on. Let's figure out where we can go, what we can do, spend affordable and reasonably. Hey, let's move on, man, because that's something necessary, man. We got to have our quarterback, but we got to have him protected. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, absolutely, Will. Oh, man, I love this. Diving a little bit into the offense, into this regular season. We're starting to come to a lot of the things that are happening, the free agency, we've seen all the coaches that have been getting picked up, and we're moving close to the draft, the combine, all these great things. So, Will, next time we're hitting them with defense, correct?
Correct, yeah. 2 weeks from now, defense.
Oh, yeah.
I got to do some research here because we got some holes we got to fill. We got some decisions we got to make on certain players. Yeah.
I did that little mock draft after Ab was saying it in the group chat. I started doing little mock drafts, and then I just went in there and looked at needs. And it says quarterback, and then it says linebacker. So it just started giving me all of these linebackers in college. So I'd be interested. I'll share those with you. I'll be interested to see kind of which direction we go in. And, okay, Dylan, see, this is why you get cut out of the show on Sundays. You got players that need to stop fighting. You know what?
That's passion, Dylan.
Right.
They care about their play. Is that a Packer thing that he's got there?
Oh, yeah, that's a Packers thing.
You got guys that don't want to play for you anymore.
Exactly. Get out of here, Dylan. Aaron Rodgers is not coming back. Let's go. So, we thank you so much for joining us, Dylan, Nathan, Ash in the beginning, Andrew, Kyle. Appreciate you guys sitting here with us and just hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. Like Will said, we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about defense, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about defense and all the latest news and notes that are going on. Right before we leave, I definitely want to tell you, check out tomorrow night, 6:30, Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover, the season finale. Season 1 ends tomorrow. Nice. Yes. Yeah. So I'm very excited that they can get that show up and running and off the ground. And they've come, I think, 5-6 episodes deep, finishing it up tomorrow. They will be back at the end of the year. Friday, we have Let's Talk Football Presents, myself and Sydney Swinton. Also, we have Mr. Nathan Snell, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Will be coming on Friday night at 10:30. Check it out. He's a king of late night, man. This guy, king of late night. That's awesome. What's my guy that's from DC, bald guy with glasses?
Van Pelt.
Van Pelt. Yeah, he's rivaling Van Pelt, man.
Yeah.
I love it. So definitely check him out. Check all the things we have going out. Appreciate you guys. For myself, Mr. Sean Spencer, South Carolina zone over here, Mr. Will Kramer with that famous high neck key on his shirt. I love it. Hey, we'll be with you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, hope you have a good night. Peace.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The line. Here. The line. You know this so funny.
this. All right. I am Janae Strother.